All right, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm Darius Davidson with the What If Show, and today we have Representative Patrick Sellers coming to the show today. Representative Patrick Sellers, I'm going to allow you to kind of introduce yourself, kind of tell about what your role is in Alabama legislator, tell about where you're from, and kind of what you're about.
Okay, I'm Patrick Sellers. I represent House District 57, which covers Western Jefferson County. So the cities of Pleasant Grove, Hueytown, Midfield, Brighton, community of Dolomite, southwest side of the city of Birmingham, and also Silver Springs. And so we're Democratic. We're in the House, and we're just happy to be here tonight.
Awesome, awesome, man. Very glad to see you come to the show tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of get into a few questions real quick. So when you introduced this bill, House Bill 72, what kind of problems were you trying to solve when you introduced the bill?
One of the things happened as we continuously over the last few years have visited a multiplicity of schools, but definitely schools within my district. One of the concerns that teachers and counselors and administrators, bus drivers have had or continues to have is, hey, these kids come to school with smelling just like marijuana. And I'm like, I was shocked. And they said, yeah, one day you need to just stand on the car line and you'll get a contact. I'm really like shocked, like, wow, people will drive in the car and smoke marijuana with their kids. I mean, like really, it's an issue. And so, and so that's where all of this began.
Okay, awesome, awesome. I just want to say I'm an educator myself, teaching the inner city school system myself, and I know exactly firsthand exactly what you're talking about.
So exactly, and I get it from SROs,
Yeah.
teachers, and they're like, hey, we got an issue. And it's almost as if no one has been listening over the years, and or the issue has really kind of grown. People have gotten more accustomed or acceptable of the usage of marijuana, and which is illegal in the state of Alabama.
Okay. Yes, sir. You're correct. So why was this bill so important to prioritize it in this session?
Well, I mean, just by that's how it came up. We worked on it last year when we got out of session and through the summer and the fall, and was able to pre-file it in the fall. And so that's when it comes up. And I'm one. I'm not bothered by whether it's a campaign year or campaign season or not. The people elected me to go and represent the people, and I'm gonna do that. And regardless of how one may feel or whether it's socially acceptable or not, um, if I feel passionate about what we're doing, and we move forward. And so you can't be a scared leader. You have to be a determined and a purposed leader.
Yeah, you're totally right. Totally right about that. So basically, for my viewers that kind of they just heard about this, they don't really understand what this is all about. Could you kind of put it in plain language what House Bill 72 actually does?
So, as we know, marijuana is already legal in the state of Alabama. So the penalties for the possession, they're already there. It's already a misdemeanor. Um, and as well as schools, daycares, daycare owners are already mandatory reporters when they see, hear, smell, or notice or observe something that is going on or wrong with children. And so the only other additional component is added is an educational component that will be developed by the Alabama Department of Health that talks about the harms of secondhand marijuana smoke. And so people think, oh, it's going to split up families, or it's targeting Black and brown communities, or everybody going to DHR, going to jail. Well, first thing is, if you're not smoking marijuana, then you won't have any issues. Second is, don't smoke. If you're going to smoke, don't smoke in the car with your children. because secondhand marijuana smoke has all kind of harmful effects, from developmental delays to asthma to bronchitis, especially in young children. Their minds, their brains have not fully developed. And so give every child the best opportunity that they can to survive and succeed in life.
Okay. So I understand, like you said, it's already against the law as it is. Um, does this kind of classify under child welfare standards, or what does this do? Does this increase it, like the endangerment of a child? Does this bill do that?
I don't think it increases. I think it further solidified the awareness, or the need to have an awareness of our children specifically. It's important that schools, like I said, schools, um, daycare owners are already mandatory reporters. And so I've heard instances and examples of kids coming to school, they're high half the day, so they're sleeping half of the day. So if they sleeping half of the day, um, because of that increased THC contact, secondhand contact, I mean, come on, that's not productive. That's not productive learning.
It's so true. So true. Now, a lot of people ask the question: who would be responsible for the enforcement? Would the law enforcement, DHR, or the courts be more involved?
I think it's not, the bill is not perfect. Let me tell you that, not perfect, and we're going to continue to work on it and work on it through the Senate. But I think there's already a chain of enforcement that's already in place. So you get stopped by the police. You get stopped by the police. You have marijuana in the car. They issue you a citation, or you get a misdemeanor charge for the possession of marijuana. You already have it, and so it probably further solidifies it if you got children in the car. You know, and how does that look with children in the car? And you're already, they're getting secondhand marijuana smoke. Now, in Alabama, it's already a law against smoking cigarettes in the car with children under the age of 14.
Hmm.
So, is cigarette smoke better than marijuana smoke?
And I'm
Probably.
glad you said a lot of people don't even know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've noticed cigarette smoke, and I was like, wow, the cigarette smoke, but a lot of people don't even know that.
And that was passed, I think, in 2023.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So a lot of people argue, hey, this bill, it might disproportionately affect low income minority families. How do you respond to that?
Because it's not a black, white, or brown issue. It's not a Republican or Democratic issue. It's a people issue. And we got, just to be honest, we have some issues within our communities that we really need to face and own up to, and be responsible for and about, and address. And so how do we address those issues as within our communities? And I think it's pulling those partnerships together between school systems and law enforcement and health departments and physicians and all of those kind of anti-drug advocates coming together to raise the level of awareness that, hey, you know, if you're an adult and you're smoking marijuana, that's your business, but don't do it around your children because of the harmful harms of secondhand marijuana smoke.
Okay. So now, do you think that there is a risk that parents could be reported or investigated without clear evidence of harm? Just like I talked to a lady one time, she said she knows her son, he likes to go, 14, 15 and, smoke a little bit, and he may have it on his clothes, but she don't participate in it.
No, I don't think that's going to end up being the case once we get to a final bill. Like I said, it passed the House, but it hadn't passed the Senate yet. So there's some work that need to be done to it. But if that mom that has that 14, 15-year-old, you need to be in charge of your 14, 15-year-old.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense.
Take responsibility, take ownership, and just don't allow it to happen.
Yeah. All right. So how we're gonna, like you said, I guess when we get, it's through the House now and it's in the Senate, how we're gonna make sure that this gets applied consistently and not abused by any law enforcement or DHR or anything like
I think we raised the awareness of the concerns, and like I said, the only other piece that's added is an educational component, which can be done according to the bill, according to legislation, it can be done virtually or in person. Because, like I said, there's already penalties in place for those that are caught with possession of marijuana. You already have penalties. You already have misdemeanors, and so the penalties are already in place. But I think what is missing is the educational piece that said, "Hey, listen, if you smoke marijuana as an adult, that's your business. Nobody's trying to police your house. But if you're smoking around that child, there are some that secondhand marijuana smoke have some harmful concerns to the
that?
growth and development of your children.
Okay.
children.
Okay. Now, I know a lot of people say that smoking vape is a little bit different from just smoking it, in a regular marijuana joint. Now, would that trigger something different under the law enforcement, under this bill, smoking the vape thing?
It's specifically marijuana
Marijuana, yeah.
because marijuana is illegal in the state of Alabama.
Okay, okay. Whether it's in the vape pen or whether
Whether it's in a
it's
vape, whether it's in a vape or not, marijuana is illegal in
okay,
the state of Alabama. And
okay,
people miss that and want to sidestep that, but that's the law. I didn't write the law, but that's the law. So some say, well, what about medical marijuana? Since we have this new medical marijuana law that was passed in 2021, um, medical marijuana in the state of Alabama is non-smokable, non-smokable. And so since it's non-smokable, it's in forms of whether it's creams or patches or something like that.
okay.
So it's not going to be any live plant.
Gotcha. Another little thing, kind of nitpicky about this bill. So when we talk about secondhand exposure and just mere presence around it, um, how does the bill distinguish in between that? Like say for instance, if my child rides to school with a parent and they are smoking marijuana in the car, now am I here responsible for that also?
I think right now you are because you're responsible for your child. But like I said, there's still some work that needs to be done on the legislation to um, kind of um, pinpoint, bring it down so it won't be so broad. So we'll continue to work on that through the Senate process, and I think it'll be a even better. But raise the level of awareness about secondhand marijuana smoke, and its harmful effects on children. That's the whole key. Is let's protect our children. Let's protect every child in the state of Alabama.
100% agree with that. Now, just taking a look at your law enforcement and child welfare agencies, have they expressed any support or concerns about this bill and the implementation of it?
Um, not yay or nay. I did have a conversation with some DHR representatives as we were kind of formulating this. Of course, Alabama Department of Health was involved as well, and so I think that they look at it as another way of deterrent um, against secondhand marijuana smoke um, being involved with children.
Okay. Now, I have seen a lot of strong reactions online behind this particular bill. Do you think that you're being misunderstood about this bill?
I think one is misunderstood, and then two, for those that are 420 friendly, they don't want to. They don't want you to bother what they do. But we have an issue, and we have an issue within our community. When our children are not excelling and succeeding in the manner in which they do or need to be because of certain things that happen within our community, we got some issues and we need to face them head on. We need to really talk about them.
Okay. Now, I know you said we need to talk about it, but have you been engaged with the community? And with those maybe who oppose it or for it, you've been engaged with the community, and have you heard from them lately?
Oh, consistently listening to the community by multiple avenues. I listen to the community. That's why the bill come. That's how the bill originated. But we're consistently listening to the community, and that's why we're moving, especially within the Senate. We'll probably there'll probably be some adjustments to it to make it even better.
Okay, that's awesome, man. So I know that other states have similar laws. Have you did any research on what other outcomes that you've seen maybe in other states or other places?
I can't remember exactly what I did read a few pieces, but I can't remember exactly what that was in dealing with other states. And there are some states that do have um, legalized recreational marijuana. Um, that's not in Alabama.
Okay. Okay.
That's not in Alabama. But I do think that even those certain states that they do have some precautions about smoking recreational around children as well. Some tend to say, well, there's not enough data around secondhand marijuana smoke. Well, there's enough data around tobacco smoking that should ring a bell. should be enough in terms of marijuana smoking. Secondhand marijuana smoke.
Yeah, I know you mentioned, like you said, it's going to be some amendments and stuff like that. But I did want to ask this question. So say for instance, it leads sometimes to maybe some unintended consequences. Will there be any ways that we can review it or revise it?
Always, any law can be revised and reviewed. But right now, I think the unintended consequences are the children that are not being protected, and we need to protect every child in the state of Alabama.
Okay. Okay. So you may have some people coming up against this particular bill. How would you say that this bill would be successful in the end? What would make you say, okay, we've implemented this bill and now we see it as successful?
When educators within our schools start seeing or smelling decreased children coming to school smelling like marijuana,
Okay.
or decreased smells in the car line, you know, decreased amount of children that are um, got contact smoke from riding in the car and high half of the day, when those numbers, when those decrease, and kids can come and be fresh to learn.
Okay. Okay. So, talking to a lot of my viewers, a lot of them seem like they were worried a little bit about it. So, what would you directly say to some of these parents who worried about this bill could be used against them unfairly?
What would I say again?
What would you say to parents who worried about this bill to be used against them unfairly?
Don't smoke marijuana around your children. Don't smoke marijuana, period. It's illegal in the state of Alabama. And so, I know other states have done, they legalize it. That's other states. And, but in Alabama, it's illegal.
Okay. So, if protecting children is the goal, why choose a legal approach over an expanded education program or prevention program? Why should we legally do this? Or is there some ways that we could maybe campaign and try to get the word out, or some other ways we could do it? Do we have to use legal ramifications?
Well, I think the legal ramifications are already there. It's already illegal. So it's already a misdemeanor, to if you get caught with possession of it. The only additional piece is that educational piece. And so, um, like I said, the bill is still not perfect, but we're going to continue to work on it to make it even better. Um, but I do believe that it gives us enough ability to raise the level of awareness within our communities that, hey, our children are our future. Let's keep them first.
Okay. So basically, I want to put it in the terms of, like you said, with it already being a law, it already being something that's already against the law. How would a educator or a person in a school system deal with the situation now that this law is come about?
Well, it's not legal. It's not. I mean, it's not hadn't passed as of yet,
Okay.
and so but I think that they are already mandatory reporters and continue to do their job and continue to observe and watch and see and look and be sensitive to the needs of every child.
Okay. Man, I had all the time talking about this today, and hopefully when the thing get passed, and we come back sometime, and I get a chance to talk with you about it again.
Okay.
I
Enjoy.
really appreciate clearing everything up for my viewers.
All right.
All right. Thank you.